You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
That's right. Every single day we are here. What's up, Fish fans? My name is Jim GRIES. Call me Grease. Welcome to your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. That's right here, Locked On Sports Miami, right here, wherever you get your podcast. Want to thank you for making us an important part of your day every day, making us your first listen right here, wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Apple Music, whether it be iTunes, iHeart, whatever it is. I heart you for being here. How about that? And, of course, right here, Locked On Sports Miami, and the Marlins pick up a big win today, 4-2 over the Mets. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, for a first deposit match up to $100 with Prize Picks. And the Marlins got it done today in New York. Now, the Mets had won 6 out of 9 coming into this series, 3-gamer, starting tonight in Flushing, New York. And, man, Citi Field, a lot different than Shea Stadium used to be. I remember when I did the Marlins pregame show on 6:40 a.m. for a couple of years back in the day. This is 20 years ago now. Wow, crap. I went to New York and went to a Mets game on the road and did my show from the press box at Shea Stadium. Or no, I'm sorry, excuse me, at Citi Field. So I did my show from the press box at Citi Field, and that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. But, yeah, it was a long time ago, to say the least. But a good win for the Marlins tonight. We'll get to the particulars in just a second. They get to 23-43 on the season, 11-18 on the road. The Mets, 28-37, 13-23 at home. Mentioned they had won 6 out of 9, but flying back from England. They played in London against the Phillies over the weekend. And, I mean, this just in. It's a bit of a long flight, a little bit longer than Miami to New York. And then, of course, the Marlins got in yesterday. So they were pretty much established and all settled in New York. So let's take you through the play-by-play. Marlins at Mets in Nueva. Look, I mean, you're not seeing starting pitchers go all that long, and man, we're going to get to Jesus Luzardo. Had a good night tonight for the Marlins, 5 2/3. He gets the win, goes to 3 5, but 5 2/3 for him, 4 2/3 for McGill. I guess I should get off the soapbox, right? I guess you should stop screaming from the mountaintops about starters never making it 6 innings anymore, because that's just kind of the way that baseball is now. So the Marlins in the top of the first, Trevor McGill, who took the loss to go to 1-3. Struck out Jazz, De La Cruz hit by a pitch, and then Bell and Berger strike out swinging. He has electric stuff, does McGill. He had one bad inning tonight, really, and Luzardo, look, he was great his last couple of times. Well, not his last couple of times. His last time out, he gave up 9 runs. The time before that, he gave up 3 earned in like 6 innings, but the 2 starts before that, he was lights out. We know what he's capable of. This, I think, was his best start since those 2 in a row, and I'll get to those in just a couple of minutes when we talk about Luzardo, which we will talk about Luzardo here on this show. But Luzardo, pitcher for Miami, looked sharp early. He got Lindor, Alonso, and Nimmo. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the first inning. Marlins top of the second, pick up a run when Tim Anderson, have a day TA. You see it right there on the rundown. Jesus Sanchez doubles to left, his only hit of the night, the only one that he needed. Lopez grounds out to the pitcher. Sanchez alertly goes to third on the throw. Gordon strikes out swinging. He would add a sacrifice fly for an insurance run later in the game. Anderson singles to left. Sanchez scores, and the Marlins are up 1-0. It would not last long as the Mets come to the dish. Bottom of the second, Luzardo on the bump hits Martinez with a pitch. JD takes the spot down at first base. Marte singles to right. Went oppo twice tonight. Marte did. Nice job hitting, staying back on those pitches. The outside pitches driving him the other way, a la Derek Jeter at his best, right? So Marte singles to right. Martinez goes to second. Up comes Mark Vientos, 2-run double, 2-1 New York. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and Luzardo got the Mets out from there. Then in the top of the third, nothing happening for the Marlins. 3 strikeouts in between a Bell walk. So Chisholm, De La Cruz, then Bell walks, and then Berger little extra emphasis on the third out of the inning. Plus, I just like to flex. Just kidding. Bottom of the fourth for the Mets, not really. They go 1-2-3. Luzardo kind of got in that groove there. He had an 8-pitch fourth inning and a 12-pitch fifth inning. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. And a good job there. Top of the fifth, the Marlins took the lead that they would not give up. Anderson singles to center. Fortes grounds to third. Anderson goes to third. One away. TA's on third. Chisholm walks first and third with one away. This is usually when the Marlins hit into a double play. Not tonight. De La Cruz doubles to left. Anderson scores. Chisholm's to third. Bell flies out to left after that. Now, but De La Cruz's double, the outfielder fell down. I mean, that was what happened there, and that was a tough play there for the Mets. But Chisholm scored on an error when Berger was safe at first on a throwing error by Vientos, the third baseman. So De La Cruz ends up safe at third on the error. Bad throw, and the run scores. The Marlins take the lead on an error, on a bad throw, and that is something that, hey, they'll take it with all the ways that they've lost games this year. Luzardo continued to be sharp, 12-pitch inning in the fifth. Iglesias, Lindor, and Alonso. Marlins in the top of the sixth. They go 1-2-3 with Reed replacing the reliever, Young, who had replaced McGill in the fifth for the Mets. Top of the seven for the Marlins. Or bottom six for the Mets, I should say. Luzardo still on the bump. Nimmo strikes out, swinging. Then Martinez, Marte, Vientos. Bender comes in and gets Vientos. So 2 outs, Marte singles to right, and Schumacher, Skip didn't want to mess around or waste any time. He went out and got Luzardo right away, and Vientos grounds first. Usually that's when he's right at or just past his pitch count limit, and manager tells him before he goes out, yo, man, you're out there until you give up a base runner, and as soon as someone reaches base, you're out. And that's what happened there. Pretty much guarantee it. Marlins top seven go 1-2-3. Bottom seven, the Mets with Bender on the hill. Stewart walks, and then a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. That's the end of that inning. Top of the eighth for the Marlins. Nothing doing. Bell, Berger, and Sanchez unable to get it done. And then the bottom of the eighth, the Mets go 1-2-3. Alonso, Nimmo, Martinez. They have the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up in their lineup. So what does Skip do? He brings in Tanner Scott. 1, 2, 3. Just like the WWE, baby. 1, 2, 3. When Tanner Scott takes the hill for the Marlins. Marlins top nine. Added an insurance run. Nick Gordon's sacrifice fly scored. Otto Lopez, who had singled to left field, safe at third on a throwing error after stealing second on the catcher Alvarez. And so that was an important insurance run. Wouldn't end up needing it because Marte and Vientos. And then Taylor grounds out to second to end the game. And Tanner Scott gets his first career 2-inning save, 6 outs for the lefty. And like I said, it's WWE, baby. When Tanner Scott takes the bump for the Marlins. And you got to love that. It was a nice win for this team as they were able to go to New York. I mean, they're still 20 games under 500, but what I like to do as a fan in these situations when you feel like your team's not going to be competitive, you feel like your team's not going to be there at the end of the year, they're not going to have any chance to make the playoffs or what have you, and maybe they don't at this point. Safe to say maybe just a skosh, I don't know, but you're watching big league quality baseball every day. You're watching them fight, scratch, claw. You're watching them steal bases. You're watching them make plays in the field. You're watching them grow and develop and get better every day, at least you hope. And they're a lot of fun. They're an entertaining team to watch. So you have to kind of look for those things as you move along in a season like this. And just hope, maybe beyond hope, that at some point maybe something could, who am I kidding? But Tanner Scott was dope today. 2 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts against 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7 in the Mets lineup. Just went right through him like nothing. And a good job there by Tanner Scott. Like I said, his first 2-inning, 6-out save of his career. So the Marlins, Jazz was 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Also struck out twice, hitting .246. De La Cruz 1 for 3 with an RBI, struck out twice as well. McGill has good stuff. Like I said, electric. Had a couple of Marlins with a hat trick tonight. They struck out 13 times in this game. How many times did they walk? 2. They don't draw walks. They went 3 games in a row without drawing a walk last week. They don't draw walks, and they strike out all the time. But they won tonight, so that's okay. We're going to take it easy on them a little bit. But, yeah, Chisholm struck out twice. De La Cruz struck out twice. Mentioned DLC, though, with the 2-run double. And, the RBI double off the left field wall. Bell was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Rivera didn't have an official at-bat. Berger was 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Ouch. 0 for 4, 1 for 4 with 3 Ks for Sanchez. Did have the run scored and the RBI. On the double, Lopez 1 for 4 with a run scored for Otto. Nick Gordon drove in to run with the sac fly. 0 for 3 for him. TA Tim Anderson, have a day TA. It's in a rundown. 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. He is our player of the game for the Marlins. He can share it with Luzardo and that amazing bullpen. Scoreless again. What more can you say about these dudes? More on these guys and their stat lines in a minute, but have a day TA for sure. The Marlins only had 5 hits in this game, and that's all they needed to score those 4 runs. Fortes, the number 9 hitter, was 0 for 4. On the pitching side, Luzardo, 5 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 1, struck out 4, 91 pitches. He picked up his 3rd win of the year against 5 losses. ERA drops to 5.11. What significance does the number 5.11 have in baseball history? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? That's the number of career wins by Cy Young, the all-time record, just so you know. Anyway, Anthony Bender goes 2/3 of an inning with a walk allowed, no runs, and look at this. Nardi, 2/3 of an inning, strikeout, no walks, no hits, no nothing. Tanner Scott, 6 outs, 2 innings. 3 strikeouts for him. First career 6-inning save. So a really good job by the Marlins bullpen as well. For the Mets, Lindor 0 for 4. Alonso 0 for 4. Nimmo 0 for 4. So 0 for 12 with 5 combined strikeouts for the top 3 hitters in the Mets lineup. Little bit of jet lag maybe in there. JD Martinez 0 for 2 with a run scored on the walk. Marte 2 for 4 with a couple of singles the opposite way. He scored a run. 1 for 4 with a 2-run double for Vientos, driving in the only 2 runs of the night for the come on out and beat the Mets. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Bader 0 for 2 for Harrison. And 0 for 1 for Taylor as the pinch runner center fielder. Alvarez 0 for 3. Iglesias 1 for 1. And McNeil 0 for 1. The Mets struck out 8 times and walked twice. No home runs hit in this game at all. As for the Mets pitching lines, 4 2/3 for McGill, the starter. 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 87 pitches. He drops to 1-3 as ERA is 3.16. Young pitched an inning scoreless, hitless with a strikeout, an inning and 2/3, or inning and 1/3 for Reed Foley with a strikeout, no hits, no runs. Smith, no hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts in an inning, and Ottavino, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 strikeout, 19 pitches for him. So there you have it, your box score. You had your play-by-play just a minute ago, at least in terms of how the runs scored. The Marlins with their 23rd win of the season, 4-2 over the come on out and beat the Mets at Citi Field in Flushing, New York. My name's Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. You are watching your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name's Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. And I promise, ladies and gentlemen, I will be okay. But not until I express my gratitude. Not until I give you a warm thank you for being here every day. We love it. You make us your first listening every day. Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team and yours and yours and yours every single day. And tonight's show brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB. See, I didn't even look. For a first deposit match up to $100. What a show it's been so far. On the other side, we're going to get into our stars of the game. We're starting to expand the show a little bit, our horizons as well as some other things. But first, we're going to take a quick break and let you know about some of the superstars who help us to keep coming to you for free every day with your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. Oh, Ibotta. I love Ibotta. Spring has sprung, and you know what that means. When spring has sprung, summer has sprung as well. And that means spring cleaning, summer cleaning, whether that means stocking up on cleaning supplies or swapping out your winter clothes for new spring clothes. Make sure you're using Ibotta to get real cash back with every purchase. That's right, real cash back with every purchase from Ibotta. It's a free app that gives you the most cash back every time you shop on hundreds of items, from groceries to beauty supplies to toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Isn't that important? The average Ibotta user, guess how much you earn per year? $256. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or the fancy dinner you've been craving. That Chateaubriand. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, just add your offers in the app. Upload your receipt, and you get real cash that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Join the over 50 million users and earn cash back every time you shop from over 2,700 brands and retailers, including all your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. That's a mouthful and an earful, I know. But right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA, baby, Ibotta, in the Google Play or App Store. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB. Also, take a minute to tell you about my friends at Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. Why do I love Prize Picks? It's simple. It would go no deeper than this, although it does. It wouldn't have to. America's #1 fantasy sports app. That's right. That's what Prize Picks is. America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It's the most fun. It's the most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game. Watching your favorite sports this summer, you can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chances of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup, on Fridays. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. That's right. Prize Picks is where it's at. It is the #1 fantasy sports app in America. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That is LOCKEDONMLB. That's the code for a first deposit match up to $100 when you download the Prize Picks app today. It's definitely something that you should do to make it a lot more fun. Put a little action on the action with Prize Picks. Download the app. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB. First deposit match up to $100 with Prize Picks. We'll leave that Prize Picks overlay up there for a while, and I just really want to ask you something. You know, we're here every day, you day-by-dayers especially, right? We have a great time doing the show, and appreciate you being here day in, day out, and, you know, making us a part of your day. So wondering, you know, what you're doing for your national sports. Are you watching Fox Sports? Are you watching ESPN all day? Are you having to turn down the volume because there's so much screaming, incessantly just shouting over each other? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Ooh, is that right, huh? Also want to thank you one more time, maybe more than one more time, actually, while we're still here, for making Locked On your choice every day. Locked On Sports Miami, Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. We are here for you. Pete's here for you with your Locked On Marlins show every day as well. We know you have choices, and we want to thank you for being here, Locked On Sports Miami, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, we are excited. The Marlins beat the Mets 4-2 tonight. They double them up in Nueva, New York City. And if you're from New York, you don't call Queens New York City. It's Bridge and Tunnel, but you know what I'm saying. That's a nice stadium. I like that field. I like the Mets organization. They've been playing better lately. They had won 6 of their last 9 coming into this game, and it didn't continue. The Marlins played well tonight. Look, they struck out a ton. They didn't walk much. They didn't hit a lot in this game, truth be told. But it's the major leagues. Have you seen the pitching in these recent years in Major League Baseball? The pitching is so out of control, out of hand. It's so great. It's so great. The velocity has increased so much. The action and the movement on the pitches, the late movement, the sinkers are heavier than ever. The sweepers are going a mile. And you know what, man? We didn't even have sweepers years ago. And it just is what it is, right? So when I think about the Marlins and Major League Baseball in this day and age, you're going to have way more strikeouts. The offense isn't going to be what it used to be. And you're going to have to scratch and claw and manufacture a lot of runs. And that's what the Marlins did tonight. That's exactly what the Marlins did tonight. When you think about the ways that they scored in this game, Anderson single into left, scoring Sanchez, who had doubled to left to lead off the inning and gone to third on a ground out. So you double, you go to third on a ground out. Little things like that. Taking a base on a ground out, stealing a bag, paying extra attention and snagging an extra base here and there. Good defense, being alert. It's fun watching this team. And they manufactured some runs tonight is what they did. Gordon with the sacrifice fly in the ninth. That gave them the insurance run after Lopez singles. He singles, steals second, goes to third on an error, scores on a sac fly. That's textbook manufacturing a run, right? Textbook. And they had great pitching again from their bullpen. Luzardo was really good tonight, and that was enough for them. De La Cruz doubled, and it kind of like was the outfielder falling down, and, you got a break there. You caught a break on an error earlier, and it happens. It happens, but they won the game. And they go to 23-43 with the win in New York over the Mets. Hit you with the recap on the other side and get you ready for tomorrow's matchup. Braxton Garrett on the hill for Miami against the Mets. David Peterson. Peterson. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. My name's Jim GRIES. Call me Grease. Marlins 4, Mets 2, and we are having a blast right here wherever you listen to your podcast and on Locked On Sports Miami on the YouTube as we get you set one more time to tell you about some of our friends who literally make this show and all the others of Locked On possible. And I love it when it's FanDuel, baby. Summertime means baseball. All kinds of baseball, just the way I love it. The NBA Finals headed toward Game 3 and more. And you can bet it all on FanDuel right now. Don't tell anyone. Shh. Tell everyone. New customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on everything from the Finals MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Ooh, that gets my blood pumping doing a spot like that. Fix this chair for some reason. I gained weight or something lately, man. It keeps saying, there we go. We'll just move forward. Look at this. Everything's color coordinated. The LED lights, the mic, windscreen. We are just chilling here with your Locked On Marlins postcast. The Marlins beat the Mets. Come on out and beat the Mets. And we are pumped to have you here. I want to thank you one last time, and I promise this time be the last time, for making us your first listen every day. Locked On Marlins postcast. After the game, of course, but you're here every night, and we love you for that. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as right here on the YouTube. Locked On Sports Miami. We will have the Dolphins. We will have the University of Miami, and we will have the Heat postcasts as well as those other teams right now. Every day you get the Heat, you get the Marlins, you get the Dolphins, you get the University of Miami. Alex Donald used to produce my radio show in Miami, and he does a great job with Locked On, the University of Miami Hurricanes football team. And really a credit to our coverage and what we do here with Locked On. An exploding network, 183 million people. Are you kidding me? More than 30 million listeners in the final month of 2023. We are just killing it here and pumped to have you with us along the way. And along those lines, one of the things that we really think is going to take off more and more as time goes by, that is Locked On's first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every single league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. Dun, 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 dun. Down the stretch we come. Marlins 4, Mets 2. My name's Jim GRIEShaber. Call me Grease. The two teams play it again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. And we'll give you some info on that. The 411, yo, in just a minute. Stop trying to be cool, Jim. Anyway, my kids love it. So what I was going to tell you is that we will be here tomorrow right after that game. And then on Thursday as well, all three games start at the same time. The Marlins will be in D.C. over the weekend taking on the Nationals, and we'll have those postcast shows for you immediately following those games as well. No one's going to catch the Phillies. They're 46-20. Phillies and Yanks just lapping the field. Orioles close snippet at the Yanks field at this point. All right, let's take a look at the recap of tonight's game, see how we did when we broke it down for you. Tim Anderson returned from the bereavement list and produced his first two-hit game in 3 weeks Tuesday night, sparking the Miami Marlins to a 4-2 win over the New York Mets. He's, of course, the 2019 American League batting champion, and he entered hitting 188 this season. RBI single in the second before singling and scoring in the fifth when De La Cruz doubles off the glove of Harrison Bader in deep center field. That was being kind. Bader got turned around the ball. Anyway, Jazz Chisholm scored the go-ahead run a couple of batters later when Jake Berger hit a hard smash, reached on a two-out throwing error by Mets third baseman Mark Vientos. And what else do we have here? The two-hit game, Anderson's first since May 21st. He was 5 for 39 over his next 11 games, then went on the bereavement list and mixed the Marlins weekend series against Cleveland. Nick Gordon had a sacrifice fly in the ninth inning. Jesus Luzardo goes to 3-5 on the year, allowed 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings, both earned. 2.37 ERA and 3 career starts at Citi Field, and a 3.02 ERA and 8 starts against the Mets. Maybe the Mets should trade for him. Maybe he doesn't leave New York. Tanner Scott's the Marlins' fourth pitcher of the night. Pitched 2 perfect innings for his 8th save of the season. First 6-out save of his career. Came in and got 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. Right in a row. Anyway, Vientos, Mark had a 2-run double in the second for the Mets. Mark Vientos, not Vientos, Mark. And Francisco Alvarez, the Mets catcher, was activated from the injured list. Went 0 for 3 in his first game since April 19th. Tore a ligament in his left thumb. They were 17-28 with him sidelined. He is a great, great catcher. Tyler McGill gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, struck out 8, and 4 2/3 innings for the Mets. Anderson back off the bereavement list. Infielder Otto Lopez off the paternity list, both activated today. And Xavier Edwards and Tristan Gray were sent to AAA Jacksonville. Edwards had a nice little showing for himself up in the show. Let's see. Brian Hoying with the left hamstring injury threw 26 pitches into batting cages and will throw 2 innings for Class A Jupiter on Friday. Edward Cabrera, the right-handed pitcher with the right shoulder, threw 30 pitches at the spring training complex in Florida and is slated to throw 2 innings of batting practice on Friday. Edwin Diaz with the shoulder fatigue threw a bullpen and is on target to be activated from the 15-day DL when eligible Thursday. And that means the Marlins might see him on Thursday, they lit him up last time they saw him. Alvarez back. Designated catcher Tomas Nido for assignment. 3-game series resumes tomorrow night. Braxton Garrett, 2-1, 5.81, faces David Peterson in a matchup of lefties. Peterson's 1-0 with a 3.09. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Your Locked On Marlins postcast on your Tuesday. My name's Jim GRIEShaber. Call me Grease. Series opener of this road trip in the books. 4-2, the Marlins beat the Mets in New York. Bryan De La Cruz with a double. Tim Anderson with an RBI single and a run scored. And a sacrifice fly off the bat of Nick Gordon. 5 2/3 of 2-run ball for Jesus Luzardo. Scoreless the rest of the way with Nardi and Bender and this bullpen. Tanner Scott, the 6-out save, his 8th of the season. We'll talk to you tomorrow night with the Marlins postcast, Locked On Marlins postcast after the game, which, of course, I told you, starts a little after 7 p.m. East Coast time. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Fish fans. I'm out.